Hey guys, this is Songbird Ultralight, and in the last trip I took a chip out of my knife blade right towards the front edge here, right there, cutting down into some moss to dispatch a fish. You probably saw that video where I smoked the fish with my buddy and we ate that and we camped overnight 2 nights in the hammocks. So if you haven't seen that, check that out, but I wanted to repair the edge on the knife where I had rolled the edge or chipped the edge a little bit, and since this knife is pretty new, it didn't require a lot of work. I just refinished the edge on my knife that I carried for the last 600 miles of the trail. That one required a lot of work. I'm just trying to get that edge nice and sharp again like it was before I went on my camping trip. I'll show you, it takes a little bit of time. I'll show you how I freehand it on the stone. So awesome. The simplest guide is that using that existing bevel there, you can just kind of angle the knife so that it clicks. You feel that it's on that edge on the sharpening stone, and you can just follow that edge all the way through it. It's a little difficult here because these new Moras have like a scalloped out kind of thin section where it makes the knife a little bit slimmer for slicing tasks. As long as you're consistent, you're gonna get a sharp edge. Basically what you're gonna do is you're going to work on one side of the blade until you can feel a burr raise. It's kind of like the edge curls around onto the side that you're not sharpening. Once you flip that, you flip it over, you find that edge again, and you do it until it's on this side. And then you can keep going as long as you want, basically. You can redo the edge, you can reprofile it is what it's called, or you can just trace what's already there and get it sharp again. Then you're going to move up in grit. So you'll start with the darker side usually, that's a lower grit. And then you're gonna move to the white, which is a much finer ceramic, or whatever you have that's finer, you're gonna move to that. And then finally, you're going to start alternating, like 10 strokes on one side, 10 strokes on the other, for a couple of minutes until you get like a nice even line. And then you're gonna alternate like 5 on each side, and then 3 on each side, and then 1, 2, 3, up to 10, so that you have a nice centered edge. And then you're gonna have a little wire edge on there when you sharpen a knife. So what you're gonna do, if you use it like that, it's gonna bend the edge and it's gonna just roll over and it's gonna feel like that burr again. So what you do is you'll strop it with a piece of leather belt. I use this sharpening sheath flat on the table and kind of go away from the cutting edge, like don't cut into the leather, go with the cutting edge like this, like away from the cutting direction. And keep it at the same consistent angle or a little tiny bit steeper, like a degree from where you've been sharpening. And that will strip off, that rough leather will strip off the burr, and it'll leave you with just a nice cutting edge that's much sturdier. As you use the knife and it gets a little bit less razor sharp, you're gonna be able to strop for months if you do it right, especially if you have pastes, like diamond paste, stropping paste. You can put it on any leather or any wood and hone that edge back and get all those metal particles aligned. You can get those little rough spots worked out and make that edge smooth. You get a nice cutting edge again. So I haven't used any buffing particles, I haven't used any stropping paste or anything, but this is a very nice sharp edge here, and I'm gonna show you what goes in, if you wanna keep watching, to sharpening it. So real quick guys, number one thing when you're first starting out sharpening, I use this and I've been sharpening for a while, it's really handy trick. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take a Sharpie, okay? Just use an older one so that if you mess up the tip, it doesn't really bother you, right? And you're gonna mark the very fine edge of your knife with that Sharpie all the way down. Maybe put the Sharpie directly on the edge 90 degrees. And it'll mark with black Sharpie on both sides, whatever color you have. Black is very easy to see. It'll mark that bevel with Sharpie. Then when you go and you start sharpening, you'll see how I do this in the video in a second. You'll see that you are making good contact by making a visual reference to that and seeing, oh look, the Sharpie's getting ground off as I sharpen. That means I'm making contact where I need to make contact on the edge of the blade. You can see with that Sharpie, especially if it's wider, you can paint the whole bevel, like this entire flat bevel, and you can see if you're making good consistent contact throughout. It's just a really helpful thing if you just try it out while you're sharpening freehand, or even with like a Spyderco Sharp Maker or any of these like Lansky kind of kits. It's really intuitive once you see how it works. Careful, AP. Sharpening a knife. Careful. This is sharpening. You can see it right there.
Why are you doing that?
This is a really rough surface, and it's harder than this, and it scrapes away pieces. See the black stuff? It scrapes away small slivers of metal until it makes it sharp. And you know why I'm doing that? Sharp knife is a safe knife. back to back. It's tiring. Scheiße. Get you a what, baby?
Candy corn?
Are you allowed to have a candy corn?
Yes.
You can have one candy corn? Alright, let me wash my hands because my hands have metal all over them. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to sharpen your own knife, you can start with pretty much any ceramic pocket sharpening stone or diamond sharpening card. I like the ceramics a little bit better than the diamonds. They're a little less aggressive, unless you have a really hardcore steel, like something that's really tough to sharpen. I'm trying to think like S30V, anything like that, the fancier steels. Anyways, guys, this isn't like a hardcore sharpening tutorial. This is just kind of a starting point to show you the process and show you how it works, show you some of the key elements that I've learned. You can very easily go onto the knife forums on Reddit. Knife Club on Reddit is probably the best resource for learning how to do anything about knives, learning what kinds of steels are good. If you're trying to pick out a new knife, you can tell them what you want. Go check it out. That's reddit.com. If you don't know what that is, it's like a forum. You can subscribe to different threads and just see content you want to see. It's a great time waster. And specifically, if you're into knives, that Knife Club Reddit subreddit, you're gonna find it pretty easily. Amazing. It's gonna be super, super entertaining, and you're gonna learn a lot on there if you're into knives and you wanna learn more. Thanks again, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this video helped you out. Check out the description down below for more information about the things used in this video, and we'll see you in the next video.